Hello, I'm Yichen. I'm very glad to share our paper, which is about some optimizations in the spiking self-attention. So here the spiking refers to the spiking neural networks, which are the foundation of this work. So we first give a brief introduction to them. So the spiking neural networks, or the SNNs, are considered as the third generation of the neural network models. So we have the spiking neurons that operate in a manner that are much closer to the human brain. So there are more biological concepts such as the synapses and the memory potentials, but we won't elaborate on them here. So now we focus on two main features of the SNNs. First is the binary activation. So when a spiking neuron activates, it generates a 1-bit spike. So we have 1 representing the firing spikes and 0 representing the non-spikes, which means no spike is generated at this moment. The second is the spatial temporal dimensionality. This means these spikes propagate not only spatially between these layers, but also accumulate effects over the temporal domain, similar to the RNNs. So these features give SNNs many advantages, such as biological plausibility, temporal modeling, and even dream mechanism and low power consumption. So it has many applications such as neuroscience simulation, edge computing, brain-inspired intelligence, and neuromorphic hardware. So usually there is a gap between SNNs and their artificial neural network counterparts in performance. So this can be regarded as a trade-off, as you have gained these advantages, particularly the low power consumption. But is there a way to reduce this gap? So in this work, we focus on the spiking transform models. For the transformers, we all know that the attention is all you need, which plays a very important role in transformer models. And we also have a common explanation for the success of the self-attention, is that it dynamically captures more important contents by calculating the sequence similarities. However, we have found that the original dot product similarity is ineffective for the spiking data due to the binary nature. So this may be one of the reasons that lead to the performance gap. So let's recall that the activation values in essence are binary. So we have 1 representing spikes and 0 for non-spikes. Thus, these extreme values make the similarity relationship between them very simple. So they are either matching or not matching. So here we have some examples. This red line represents the spikes, and this hollow circle for non-spikes. Now we have this QK pair, and we find the similarity relationship. So here we have the 3 matching values, and the similarity score is also 3. So this is consistent. However, in the second QK pair, we have 6 matching values, but the similarity score calculated by the dot product is only 2. So this is not consistent. And in the third QK pair, which is some extreme, all the values are 0. So I mean the 2 sequences are completely identical, yet the similarity score is 0, which is clearly unreasonable. So now we can identify the problem, which is these non-spikes represented by 0 contribute nothing to the similarity score by the dot product. And the current SNNs also pursue sparse spikes, which means the spiking firing rates are typically low, so there are much more non-spikes than the spikes in the spiking data. So this makes the second scenario the most common. So how shall we solve this problem? Intuitively, we expect that all the matching values, whether they are spikes or non-spikes, should contribute equally to the similarity score. So the identical values contribute 1 and different values contribute 0. So this align with the α-XNOR operation. And we have mentioned previously, the firing rates in SNNs are typically low. So from the perspective of the information theorem, the spikes carry more information than non-spikes because they are less probable or more scarce. So therefore, we can consider the spikes are more important than the non-spikes. Since the self-attention is also designed to dynamically capture more important information, so we adjust the XNOR operation to further highlight the importance of the spikes. So for the matching non-spikes, so their contribution is set to a specific value alpha, which is greater than 0 and less than 1. So this means their importance is lower than the matching spikes, but still higher than the non-matched values. So, and we name this new operation α-XNOR. So here we can see that this operation is non-differentiable. So we designed surrogate gradients for them, like this. So these gradients are derived from a differentiable function that is numerically equivalent to the α-XNOR. So that's ensuring the backpropagation. Next, we define the α-XNOR similarity, which replaces the multiplication in the dot product similarity with the α-XNOR similarity, with the α-XNOR operation. So the α-XNOR similarity has two special or extreme cases. When the alpha equals 0, it reduces to the dot product similarity, and when alpha equals 1, then it becomes the XNOR similarity. As shown in this figure, we can see that compared to the dot product similarity, the α-XNOR similarity accounts both for the matching spikes and the matching non-spikes. So meanwhile, compared to the XNOR similarity, it further highlights the importance of the spikes than the non-spikes. Moreover, α-XNOR similarity can also enhance the information representation capability of the spiking data. So next, we theoretically prove this. So first, we select the information entropy as an indicator. The high entropy indicates better information representation capability. So to get the information entropy, we need to get the distribution of these scores. So now we have these theorems. Let Q and K be the two independent spike trains or the spike sequences with dimension d and these firing rates. For the two extreme cases, the dot product similarity and the XNOR similarity, their score distributions both follow binomial distributions, with the difference lying in these probability parameters, which is related to the firing rates. For the general case of the α-XNOR similarity, the distribution is much more complex. I'll take this form. So it can be seen that the introduction of the alpha increases the complexity of these distributions. So based on these distributions, we can derive that for the same condition with the firing rates between 0 and 1, the scores calculated by the α-XNOR similarity are consistently higher than those of the dot product similarity and the XNOR similarity. So here we have a general case. So the firing rates are both 20% and D32 and alpha 0.4. The information entropy of the α-XNOR similarity score is 5.5, which is significantly higher than those of the dot product similarity and the XNOR similarity. So now we have established the α-XNOR similarity, so we can integrate it into the attention model. So we modify the spiking self-attention, and the revised version, we name it as α-XNOR spiking self-attention, or α-SSA for short. So here we have the overall architecture. All of the Q, K, and V are in the spiking form. So we have two adjustments, all of them are inside this self-attention. So the first adjustment, of course, we utilize α-XNOR similarity for more accurate similarity scores. And the second is that since the α-XNOR similarity may change the distributions, we added a bias term to the scores. So the transformation of the score is changed from mere scaling to linear transformation. So this is for better distributions. So let's go further into the transformations. So here we have the attention output with the score after linear transformation. Here the K and B are the linear transformation parameters. Then we can calculate the distribution of the attention outputs for better distribution, we set the mean to 0 and the variance to 1. So this leads to a dynamic K and B. So for the parameters related to the dynamic firing rates of QK and V. So here we select the solution with a positive K to ensure the positive correlation with the original scores. The next, we take a look at the experimental results. So here we list the data distributions of the in alpha SSA and some corresponding data in the original SSA. So it can be seen that the score distributions of the α-XNOR similarity is much more continuous and with higher information entropy. And this also forms a better bell-shaped distribution for the memory potential in the spiking neurons that generates the attention outputs. So rather than the original skewed distribution with only the positive values. So in this work, we focus solely on the attention or the encoder part of the transformer. So we test our alpha SSA by applying it to the spiking transformer architectures. So on the ImageNet dataset, the alpha SSA had brought great improvements across the different architectures. Also, the alpha is a critical parameter that affects many other parameters such as the K and B and these firing rates. And we explored different values of alpha, and the results show that from the perspective of the accuracy, the optimal alpha lies in between the 0.2 and 0.4. So these are all about this work. So thank you.